Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Sevens. This one a playoff for the 9th place finish, Samoa versus Kenya. Now these two sides already met in the pool stages. Samoa getting themselves the comfortable win in that game. But the question is, can the Kenyans come back from that defeat and get themselves their first win of the competition? Although of course they already won one last game. And that is how they are here. I meant in the pool stage, but I got my brain confused. This is going to be an entertaining game, which is why my brain cannot handle the amount of rugby we've had. But looking through at the starting lineup, Samoa, they have got Vavasa Afasua, Motu Opitai, the man who started it all for the Samoans in this Olympics competition, getting himself the first try. Taunuu Naulevaya, Neueli Letufia, Fa'afoi Falaniko, Paul Scanlon, and also Va'a Apilo Maliko, the last man in Samoa's starting lineup. For the Kenyans, it is going to be Okoth, Onyala, Kevin Waikesa, Mboya, who is the captain, and he has had a pretty strong tournament overall. Asati, it's going to be Odongo Okongo, and then also Ojwang in the starting lineup. So probably pretty similar to what we will see for Kenya when they are on the Sevens circuit next year. Of course, one of the sides that were promoted, Samoa, have been relegated from the regular season. This game, of course, Samoa would love nothing more than to get themselves another win in this Olympics competition. I should also mention this is Samoa's first Olympics, so 9th place would be pretty handy, even 10th place to a certain extent. I think that they would take. It's all about building towards that next year's competition in the Challenger Series and trying to get themselves promoted. We've got the Kenya from Bystander and the waving from Robert as well. I hope you are doing extremely well. I hope you're excited for this game. Do let me know your score predictions for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. I should also mention I have now scheduled the next 3 streams that we are doing on the channel. We are going to be doing the matchup between Ireland and New Zealand for the 5th place playoff game. Then we are also doing the bronze final between South Africa and Australia. And then the final between Fiji and France to close out what will be an epic day of Rugby Sevens. And if that's not enough Sevens action, tomorrow is when the Women's Sevens starts up. 3 days of non-stop action for them as well. We're not going to be getting much sleep in the next little while, I don't think, with all the Sevens that we have got on. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, are you also keeping track of a few other events that are taking place in the Olympics? I'm trying to think of what other events Samoa would have quite a good track record in. I think that weightlifting is something that we've seen quite a bit from Samoa in the past, and also alongside that, the boxing side of things. I think we normally see a Samoan doing not too badly in that. And then for the Kenyans, I know that running is normally one of their best events in the Olympics. So hopefully they do very well in that. But looking through at these starting lineups, we want to see some fabulous running from these two sides. And also we want to see a lot of strength being shown, which of course is required for weightlifting as well. The Kenyan supporters still absolutely loving the atmosphere, even though their side are playing off a 9th. That's the thing, that's still a massive bonus for the Kenyans. And they'll be, first of all, impressed that they were able to qualify ahead of South Africa. South Africa, the only side that, of those top teams in terms of the rankings, did have to work extremely hard to try and get through to the Olympics. Great Britain missing out, but the South Africans and Kenya, some nice representation for the continent of Africa throughout this Olympics. Back again, thanks for the coverage, mate, says Shin. No worries at all. And yeah, we've still got 3 more games happening later on tonight. Couple previews on the way as well. So if you guys are new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But the Kenyans making their way out of the tunnel. I am predicting Okongo to score a try in this game for Kenya, just because I don't think we've seen enough tries from that man throughout this comp, compared to what we saw in the original competition that got Kenya on the Challenger Series. He was trying, or scoring tries flat out throughout that one. And if I had to predict a player from the Samoans to score, I'm going to go Neueli Letufia. If I somehow get both of those right, then I won't do anything different. There's no reward, but hopefully we are correct in that regard. But the referees charging out onto the field now. For anyone wondering what time that next game we are covering is starting, it is going to be 4:25 AM New Zealand time, so about an hour after this game comes to a close is when that next one is going to be starting up. But this game, only about a minute away from starting, if not less than that. They are showing Paul Scanlon, Taununu Olivia, Fa'afoi Falaniko. Those three are my keys for Samoa if they are to get themselves a win in this contest. And that is exactly what BJ Lima wants. He wants his side to finish on a high. So let's see whether or not they can do just that here. But Samoa will be kicking off from right to left to get us underway in this matchup. Just taking their time, bouncing the ball a few times there for Fa'afoi Falaniko as he now kicks it off high. And this matchup is underway. Slapped back by the Samoans and well claimed by Fa'afoi Falaniko. Now, I should mention the rain is still falling, which does mean that the slipperiness has not calmed down from the earlier contest. Motu Opetai puts the ball on the outside to Taunuu Naolevaya. He has knocked it on there. Bit of a loose carry from him. And it means that Kenya now get themselves the scrum. Let's go Kenya, says LFG. Where to watch live, says Abel. It does depend heavily on whereabouts you are in the world. I know that the best bet is to go on to Google and just search in where to watch the Olympic Sevens in and then put your country in, and then that will give you the best indication. I know that in the UK it's supposed to be on BBC, SABC and Supersport, I believe, have it. In South Africa, for Australia it's on 9 Now. New Zealand is Sky Sport. CBC is the Canadian network that have it. And then Peacock in the US, I believe, is the official Olympics broadcaster. But Ojwang now tackle well. Kenya still in position though. Onyala going off to the left-hand side. Good fend coming in from John Okoth. Moving to the Samoan half now for the Kenya side. I could share a link but takes away views from here, says Bystander. I think YouTube also don't like exterior links very much, so I don't even know if it would come through, unfortunately, Bystander, just because, yeah, YouTube don't like people getting sent to other locations, if that makes sense. But nice bit of work there from Fa'afoi Falaniko in the breakdown initially, I thought, but then they did end up just getting it slightly wrong for Samoa. So Kenya are now going to get themselves their scrum feed. Still 0-0. Bit of a slow burner the last time Kenya played these Samoans. It was really in the second half that we saw Samoa up their tempo and start to find the most success for their side. But now, 5 minutes to go in this first half. Ball has been fed in by Azati. Now going across to the side. Boyle finds one more pass out to Okongo, who I do want to see score in this game, and that's going to be another penalty, not releasing in the ground from Samoa. Quick tap taken by the captain Anthony. I was trying to say Motu Opetai can't get the turnover. Now Kenya try the pick and go around the side of the breakdown. They will be 5 metres from the line now. A Kath again going across. Azati to the right. Skip pass out wide for Kenya. And John Okothi made it tricky for himself. And he's just going to get the ball down in time. What was the score of the blitz box? 19 points to 5. In favour of France. So it was extremely close going right down to the wire, but then in the end, France able to get themselves 2 quick-fire tries in the last maybe 1 or 2 minutes and then got themselves the win. But decent performance, I would say, from the Blitzbox. Still, even though that scoreline wasn't the most flattering, they just couldn't get those penalties in the breakdowns, unfortunately. That was almost dead from the Kenyans in terms of that foot going down, but placed it just before getting thrown over the dead ball line by Vavasa Afasua. That kick has missed, so that will remain at 5 points. We love our fives. Says Irvin there and updates us on the score, says Paula. In terms of the other games, Paula, or just this one? Because currently for this game it is 5-0. Kenya are unsuccessful with their first kicking attempt, so that will make the score 5-0 in this one. But John Okoth, who want to have a girlfriend, says Belinda. Don't we all? Well, I guess some people do, of course. But now Fa'afoi Falaniko. Now, sells the dummy, almost busted through, gets his offload away to Va'a. Pilo Maleko, another offload, going to Letufia now. Peter is in the chat with Samoan flags, and just as he's put that, it seems like Samoa are going to have their best attacking chance of the day. Vavasa Afasua doesn't. Oh, that was a big clean out from Samoa. Motu Opitai, a little bit of pressure on him. And we have got there, and the jag going good, Kenya, says Aniki. And there as well, another penalty goes the way, this time of Samoa. That was for offside. Taking the quick tap was Niueli Letufia. Now going off to the right-hand side. Naule Vaya trying to bump out a two big Kenyan tackle attempts. Congo finishing the job. Letufia goes to Vawasa Afasua. Tries to pierce this Kenyan defense. Here comes Va'a Pilomaleko, another fend. Goes off to Fa'afoi Falaniko. Getting sent sideways. Another offload there. Motu Opitai. It's a 2-on-1 out wide. Here for the Manu Samoa. And Scanlon look for the offload. I think it was knocked down by Kenya. And it's just going to count as a knock-on here rather than a deliberate knockdown. Of course, the big difference would be a yellow card for the Kenyans. But that is not the case here. It was just in the tackle attempt that Okongo Odongo does get. Oh, that looked a bit worse. To be fair, his hand was extended from this other angle, and I would almost say that that should be changed to a yellow card. For Congo Odongo, I think he's got a little bit lucky there. Now scrumpy for the Samoans. 20 metres out from the try line here. Just a minute remaining. On off to the left-hand side, Vavasa Afasua. Fa'afoi. Fadaniko. Now passes across to Motu Opitai. Oh, there's a knock-on the ground, though, and Kenya now will have themselves another scrum. This has been anything but flawless from this Samoan side. Kenya, though, they have enjoyed the challenge of coming in here with the possibility of getting themselves the 9th place finish. Opitai, he just tried to get back to his feet, and unfortunately in that process did end up juggling the ball. Lima was frustrated. He just clapped his hands together, and I have Samoa on a parlay. Oh, how long's the parlay Supernaturals? Is it a hefty one, like a 5-legger, or is it only a couple? How much were they paying? I know that Kenya came in as big underdogs, and at the moment they are leading by those 5 points. Good clearing kick for the Kenyans. Oh, there was a knock-on from Fa'afoi Falaniko there. Just any time they look to catch the ball, slips through the fingers, unfortunately. And yeah, just the knock-on from Fa'afoi Falaniko. Like they've said, it's been a steady rain rather than a heavy rain in this one. And it has affected how these games have been played. I do feel that if all of the games were played in dry conditions for today, we could have, I don't know, we could have seen some different results. We could have seen some different score lines throughout the games. Now Kenya going to the short side there. Offload on the inside. Onyala. Ankle tap by Fa'afoi Falaniko. In fact, it's going to be Nauli Vaya who got the foot tap. And that'll be the end of the half. 5-0 for the Kenyans here. But that could have easily been 10 or 12 for Kenya had it not been for the last-ditch effort of Taunuu Nauli Vaya to just slap that ankle together. And Onyala then knocking the ball on in his process of getting back to his feet. The next game that we are covering, ladies and gentlemen, it is kicking off in about an hour and 20 minutes time. How can I watch it live? Because I can't find it on BBC iPlayer, says Cormac. I assume you're in the UK then, or Ireland, I think it would be for you, Cormac. I thought it was supposed to be on BBC iPlayer, to be honest, so I don't know whether or not they've just got a deal that maybe they're only allowed to show the important games, like as in like the final and the bronze final possibly, but the broadcasting has really been below par in terms of where these games have been available to watch. We saw that for that first game between South Africa and France. There were many people looking for the game, but BBC weren't even showing it when they definitely should have been. Who won between Fiji versus South Africa? The final of the Sevens. So Fiji won up against Australia. South Africa lost up against the French. And I like cheerleading, Hamish. Says, Lisham, welcome in, mate. Do you know what the worst thing is? You know that comment that I showed you? I'm going to get ripped apart for it now, aren't I? Because, unfortunately, my logic of why I thought South Africa would win was flawed because they did not win. 14 minutes is a joke, lol. Says the Supernaturals. That is how quick a game of Sevens is. But, yeah, how long's your parlay, Supernaturals? And also, do you, follow Sevens normally, or is it just a part of the parlay that you put together? Fiji versus France. Yeah, so Fiji versus France will be the final, taking place in 2 hours, 30 minutes. And we will be, of course, live for that matchup. The BBC have abandoned the Sevens, says Fleshin. It's really poor, isn't it? The fact that they showed all of day 1 and day 2 just to, like, take it away for the final games, like, it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth, doesn't it? If Grant was here, that would be, once again, another one. We have the Hamish, sorry, mate. People asking is a temptation, but they must figure it out themselves, says Bystander. And also Samoa to win, says Ben Francis, and hello from Ireland. Brown Bear, Hamish, how you doing, lads? Doing very well. And a multi also, says Ben. So how long is your multi, Ben? Oh, we are entitled to our opinion, says Fleshin. Yeah, but I am disappointed that guy now has one over me, doesn't he? Well, except, yeah, well, it is what it is, isn't it? Now going to the right-hand side. Now Olivia. It's the pass across to Paul Scanlon. Lot of pressure coming in from the Kenyans here in the counter-act, playing the ball on the ground from Paul Scanlon. That will be the penalty. We have got there, hit the like and sub. Peeps going to the left-hand side here for Kenya, and it's another try. I think the only FS man says the Supernaturals. Do you think New Zealand got a difficult draw to face South Africa in the quarters? Yes and no. Like, we got to remember South Africa were the 8th ranked side going through. So, like, when you look at how they played in their first 2 games, you'd say that they were one of the lower ranked sides in terms of those quarters. But, like, you can't underestimate South Africa. And I feel like, you know, in that game up against France, if that game was played 10 times, I do think South Africa would win 5 of them. Above 100 quid down, the drain, says the Supernaturals. And this and France basketball, who taught Kenya to play rugby, says Krampus. I assume someone did. And 254 says Kajima there. That one has missed away to the side, so that will keep the score at 10-0. It would not be unheard of for Samoa to make a comeback here, but it certainly would be tough with the amount of time that does remain out of rugby get to Kenya, says Krampus. Rugby's got to a lot of places. I know that you're trying to make a joke that Kenya shouldn't play rugby, but they're one of the most entertaining sides on the circuit, and it is great to see that they are now back. Do what you always do, boys, says Lina there. And Samoa were a powerhouse and 7, sad to see this. Booted from the circuit, says Bystander. It is a shame, because I still feel like they should be on the main circuit. You know, like, they are a capable enough side to be there. I think that Kenya should be on the main circuit. I think that Spain should be. Uruguay should. I think it should be 16 teams rather than the 12. 80,000 people watching 3 days of rugby for 3 days. Says it all, no matter no other sport. We'll get these crowds, says Fleshin. And getting our revenge, go Kenya, says Joseph. Yeah, of course, the first time these two sides played, that was not straight from Kenya. That's unlucky for them, because that didn't look that bad. But, like, it's one of those ones that Kenya will want redemption, and they will show why they are on that 7 circuit next year. I didn't think rugby is so popular. It is played in so many countries. Do you see cricket will be the same, says Cody? I feel like cricket's got its own audience, and so does rugby in a way. Shame I can't see the game live, but I love that Kenya are doing well. I hope they can also improve in the 15s, because that's where the money is. Fiji with 2 already, says Nahal. And there as well. And yeah, Fiji going through to the final to take on the French. We are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. I like Kenya. I didn't know they played rugby. How did you not know Kenya played rugby, Krampus? They're not ranked that badly. Even in union-wise, they're not, like, completely out of those top rankings. And I'm surprised you didn't know about them on the 7 circuit, because, like, a lot of people would say that Kenya are their second favourite team, just because of the celebrations that they have when they score tries. That's a big run from Alamana Mutunga there. Still 4 minutes are remaining. Kenya are known for 7, says Cormac. Lalo Milo goes across to Va'a, Apilo Maliko. Now another offload coming to Neueli, Letufia. Another offload. It's going to be a nice tackle made, and that is almost, is it the penalty? No. Referee thought about blowing it. Sounds dodgy. Paul Scanlon goes out wide to Alamana Mutunga. Cuts back inwards. Samoa starting to get some much needed possession. If you didn't know Kenya play rugby, then you must be new, says Joseph there. Now another tackle on Lalomilo. Round the side of the breakdown. Vawasa Afasua goes to Letufia. Looking for his next pass. It's out wide to Motu Opitai. And he almost blew the opportunity to score that try. He's saying it was high, which I would agree. That's why they do play 7s in HECC circuit, says Hudson. Right, so it's a high tackle, but Motu Opitai needed to place that ball before he did. What's the New Zealand best performance at Olympics? In terms of gold medals, they normally do very well in the rowing for the Kiwis or anything to do with being in the water. Yeah, he was. Oh, he's dropped the ball over the line, Motuopitai. I know I should have picked Ireland. So here's the Supernaturals. But yeah, he's tackled high, so this is probably going to become a penalty to Samoa, if not a penalty try. So he was struck round the neck. Oh, his fingers might still be on the ball. I apologise to the BBC. They did show the semi-finals live. I just found it on the replay. Although I don't think they showed them live, Fleshin. Because we had a lot of people who were complaining that during the Fiji versus Australia game, they were still showing France versus South Africa. Because I don't think they showed any of France and South Africa live. From what I heard in the chat anyway. But they do now have them there. It was just they weren't live for the games at the very moment that they were on, if that makes sense. They don't have the resources to play 15. Says Krampus. Now that one is going to be missing. Samoa, the try will stand. 5 points to 10 now is the score. Your multi might still be in the Supernaturals. Lisa Carrington is the king of the water. Says Winter there. Yeah, she has done very well for New Zealand. I know that Emma Twigg is taking part in the rowing, I think, today, or at least she was. You know, that combination of Hamish Bond and Eric Murray, Mahi Drysdale, just seems to be anything on water in that regard. New Zealand seem to do quite well. Even Hamish Bond joining up with the 8-man rowing last Olympics and getting the gold medal, I believe. Paul Scanlon now. Going to be kicking that one off. Pelo Maliko slaps it back onto the side of the Samoans. They've got momentum now. Can they keep it going? Alamana Matonga now. Okay, their coverage has gone to trying to please everyone. I've been in the pub, says Fleshin. Now, nice attack and run from Scanlon. Great hands from Pelo Maliko. It was a very poor pass from Scanlon, but somehow he managed to hang on to it. Coverage for the Olympics is not reliable, says Robert. Now, nice inside ball. Motuopitai. Another offload to Alamana Matonga. Nalomilo tries to join the breakdown. The penalty goes the way of Kenya. 2 minutes remaining now on the clock. And kick out time. I can't find any judo. I saw some... Oh, actually, I did see some judo earlier on. I think. Yeah, I did, because me and Dad were watching it, and some of the stuff they were doing was pretty aggressive. There was some woman who was just punching the other one in the tit half the time, which seemed pretty rough. But, yeah, that was my first experience watching judo at the Olympics, and I am now hooked. You know, get in Samoa, says Ben there. And now, 1 minute 50 remaining. We only be doing rugby-related content onwards, not seeking bowling. Some good events out there. I'd like to do some other events. I wouldn't have enough knowledge on them to be able to give, like, very insightful commentary. Don't you just say Samoa's try stood? It did, yeah, but for some reason the scoreboard hasn't given them the try. But it is 5-10 at the moment in this matchup. Go Kenya, says Pillars of Art. No worries, mate. Wales, I won't see a quarter in another cycle. I'm punching in judo, no. Well, she gave her the good old right to the... She kind of gave her the... You know, test her out, see what's going on. But I don't know. I think she just hit her quite hard. That's not straight from Kenya. And a knock-on to suit. No worries, mate. Wales, I won't see another quarterfinal in the 4 cycles. So hopefully I'm still alive for the 5th cycle. Says Mr. Orlin and the Kenyan flags from Pillars of Art. I've got a question from Harvin. If anyone's got Google Translate, do let me know. Espanol. I do see for Spain, I assume. And Kenya looking good. And also New Zealand playing India and hockey men's today. That's going to be a tough one for them. Where to watch, people. Depends on where you are in the world. I like your commentary, says Pillars of Art. Thank you very much, mate. We are going to be covering the 7th Circuit on the channel as well, which will involve all of Kenya's games. It's called Trying to Get a Grip. Yeah, but she was doing it so aggressively. She wasn't trying to just get a little grip on. She was trying to break them in half. A knock on here from Samoa in the breakdown. Time is off at the moment. 5 points to 10 is the score. I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 points that Samoa have not been awarded. Are you knocking out a Fleshin? How's it going? We have got something from David there, which I also don't understand, unfortunately. Going to the right-hand side now. He says, does anyone speak Spanish? Oh, Bienvenido de nuevo al canal de Kiwi Lads. That's about all I've got in my Spanish. Deserving loss with that try, says Mr. All-In. Going to be another penalty going the way of the Kenyans. The whistle has been blown, and that will be the end of the game. Kenya winning it 10 points to 5 in this last contest. The underdog, the first underdog to get themselves a win in these playoff games. We have I think your point of view on all options within the Olympic options could be fun for you and the viewers. There will be dry spots for rugby during the Olympics here at Gem, says Bystander. And yeah, something that I was doing today, which I would like to do again, but maybe on a stream, was I had 4 different sports that I was watching along with, and I was just flicking between them in terms of what the action was happening in them, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's plenty of action still to come, of course, for the Sevens, the women's Sevens starting up tomorrow, but we'll try and squeeze in something in between maybe for the matches. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. A successful win for the Kenyans here. 10 points to 5 in the end, even though Samoa still don't have those points on the board for the scoreboard, but they did win it. And now Kenya finished 9th, Samoa finished 10th. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in and calling Kenya underdogs. Says Darius, they were the underdogs in this match in terms of the betting odds, that is. They were $5.25, I think it was. Samoa came in as heavy favourites because of what happened the last time they played, but Kenya were always going to be fighting in this game, and the fact that they're on the 7th circuit next year, it's going to be absolutely awesome to see them play up against the top sides all around the world. And Kenya flag from young Reezy and there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one, which is New Zealand versus Ireland in the 5th place playoff game.